But what's funny is that since before that press release, we never heard from him, and we have lots of people who we talked to who were like his guys when he was going in and doing Chef's Voices and everything, who were saying, hey, guys, there's more to this than you know, and this isn't Isaac doing this.
I'm going to take a break now, and we're going to come back and talk about exactly this some more.
Yeah.
What is Isaac? So let's take a break right now. We'll be back with Trey Parker of South Park, 866-370-PENN, P-E-N-N, 7366. You probably won't get a call in, but you can try. This is Penn Jillette on the Free FM from Las Vegas, Nevada. Sitting here with secret Tour de France rider Michael Guido and our good friend Trey Parker, who I have to add to the list of aristocrats that we've had on here. I have a whole list of aristocrats who have appeared on the show, and there goes Trey Parker right in there now. Right down there at the bottom, because you're the most recent. That's all the bottom.
Okay, all right.
You were talking about Chef Isaac Hayes, and so he was real cool to you.
Yeah,
and then it switched.
Yeah, and then we didn't hear from him, and then that press release that came out. At first, we couldn't believe it, but then after we thought about it, we're like, wow, that isn't Isaac talking, And then we heard these rumors that he had had a stroke, and that the Scientologists were always putting him on this weird cayenne pepper thing, one of those kind of things, like to get all the toxins out of your body. And, we believe in our heart of hearts that the whole thing was not orchestrated by him, that he was sort of forced to do what he did, which is just horrible.
And what do you think if you bumped into him on the street now? Would he be pleasant?
I believe that it depends on how much they've gotten to him. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, the Isaac that I knew, and he was starting to change. I mean, they were putting him on this weird stuff, and he lost tons of weight, and he to an unhealthy degree, I think. And when we very first met him, he was just sort of getting into Scientology, and he's just this very jolly man, and he was changing already, and just sort of.
But in terms of fame and income, there's no doubt Isaac Hayes, Shaft, and all the stuff he did, huge star, very important artist. But at that particular time that he went over to South Park, you really gave him a new bump in the career.
Oh, and absolutely. And then for that whole 10 years, I mean, Chocolate Salty Balls was the big closing number he did on every tour. That's what everyone wanted to hear, So he was still, he loved the show, and, it was a sad thing.
So you've had no contact with him except in the press, kind of?
No. And I believe, I still have this little part of me that believes somehow, someday, he's going to snap out of it, because you always want to think about that with your friends. But, we did an episode right afterwards where, and again, a lot of these episodes that we do, like the one we did right after 9/11, I mean, we had to do it. This is, this show's our way of purging as well,
sure.
And it's our way of dealing with things. And so we had to do this episode where the boys lose Chef, and how do they react to that, and so, at the end of the day, I mean, Matt and I are both very optimistic people. We're happy people, and that's where I think a lot of the, why the show's been able to last for 10 years is because we've seen a lot of shows come along trying to sort of copy us, and they're just cynical, and they sort of miss the whole point, where it's just.
I worship skepticism. I think skepticism is the most important thing in the world, and nothing seems to be more evil than cynicism.
Right.
And it troubles me that people don't even think about that distinction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that distinction is everything.
Absolutely.
And South Park is one of the most perfect examples of a skeptical show that's full of love. And always trust people. I mean, you have very, I mean, you can think better than me, but I can't bring up one plot where it is where people are bad.
Right.
You're always talking about the situations, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, you went to Berkeley, right?
Yeah, for a semester.
So was your love always music?
Yeah, well, from probably about 12 years old, that's when I discovered piano, and I really just fell in love with it, and that's what I wanted to do.
And I know that you share a lot of you're kind of a fan of Jonesy's.
Absolutely,
Jones.
he's unbelievable.
But is bebop piano what you'd like to play?
No.
Elton John?
Yeah, I mean that I learned from watching Elton. That's how I learned. And when I was there's all these pictures of me that are so embarrassing now, but I was like in the junior high talent show with big glasses on and just being little Elton. That was really my thing.
And you do almost all the singing on South Park?
Yeah. That's more out of, we do all the voices, and it's not because we are absolutely running out of voices that we can do, but it's out of necessity. It is so that at 2 a.m. we can change a joke, and we don't need to call an actor and figure out when they can come in and do the line.
And is Cartman a voice you've been doing your whole life?
No, Matt and I started doing those voices when we met in college, when we were like 19, and we would just always talk about these little kid stories or these little movies we were going to make that they weren't going to be animated. But we would talk in those kind of voices to be the kids. So,
and if South Park hadn't caught on that stupid bootleg thing that I saw about 30th generation.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in with the in crowd, so mine was barely watchable.
Right.
Mine was copied by a magician. Okay?
Yeah.
So you had to go far enough out that you'd gotten to a group of people you didn't care about at all.
Right.
Matt King.
Yeah, Matt showed me, yeah.
And that's the one I saw. And it was just horrendous quality, but beautifully done. If that hadn't happened, what was your plan for life?
Actually, my realistic backup plan was I was going to go teach English in Japan. I was learning Japanese, and I was very into the Japanese culture, so I thought that's what I would go.
So you've always been a bit of a rice queen.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And now you married a Japanese woman?
I did.
Or an American woman of Japanese ancestry?
No, she's Japanese. She's only been out here for about 3 years, actually.
And you met her here?
Yeah, I met her in L.A., yeah.
Wow.
Right during the pre-production of Team America.
Yeah.
So.
And now you're married. Is that good?
Yeah, I'm married. I don't know yet. It's only been about 6 months.
Well, you can be like Godot. He married his wife, divorced her, then married her again.
Oh, really? That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe I should try that.
Get that together. And what other projects you doing?
We actually, Matt and I sort of have our own movie company now. Paramount gave us a deal where we can start producing. So, because we figured that's the thing to kind of graduate into. Because we were watching all the producers on our shows going, wow, they don't have to do anything. I want to do that. We're going to just come in and give some notes and walk away. That's great. So,
but Team America did very well, right? But they handicapped it.
Yeah.
Everything's turned to Vegas.
Right.
They decide how good they think you're going to do.
Right.
If you fall short of that, you failed a little.
Right.
Even though you're making money for everybody.
Right. I mean, the truth is anymore in Hollywood, if you break even, they're pretty happy. And it did more than break even. So, I mean, it ended up being a really expensive movie, too. I mean, no, I don't think they intended to make it.
And really stupid.
Oh, yeah, totally. And a really bad idea to do, too, because it did take 10 years off my life.
I was there the last day of taping, and, you were laying on the floor face down, I think it was.
No, it took me a year to
Hey, I get to meet Trey.
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind, not today. I'll come back another day.
So, I mean, there's times when you look back on movies that were made in, like, The Terror of Tiny Town, and you just look at that movie and go, what the hell were they thinking? I would just want to have been around and talk to one of those people.
Yeah.
You know that Team America is going to be, people will say, and this went out in a wide release?
Yeah, yeah.
And who did it? And what were they doing?
And they could have computer generated everything?
It's just going to go down in history. And also, I just love, movies are so afraid to take moral and political stands.
Oh, yeah.
Everything has to be wishy-washy.
Right.
And it is such a shame that America has to take its cues for movies from cartoons and puppets.
Right.
Because even Michael Moore, the most preachy, fool that we've ever had, still likes to, you draw your own conclusions.
Right.
And it doesn't have that morality play quality that really makes the point. I mean, I think at the end of Team America, there is one point on international politics that is made very clearly.
Right.
I'm talking taking all the jokes aside.
Right.
Just all that, and it's all laid out there.
Yeah.
And How many other people that you had puppets of in Team America did you run into or have any? And the Sean Penn letter. You want to talk about the Sean Penn letter?
Oh, my God, yeah. Well, Matt, this happened. It was like a week before Team America came out. And we had heard from our agent, because he was at a party, and Sean Penn was there, and he was screaming at this party saying, I want to sue those guys. I need to sue those guys right now, because he had just heard about someone had seen the teaser trailer, and were like, hey, they made a puppet of you. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, no, I think they really make fun of you. And he was like, what? I'm going to sue them. I'm going to sue them. So he was asking our agent how he could sue us. And our agent's like, I'm not sure that you can. And so a week before the movie comes out, Matt calls me and he goes, we got a letter from Sean Penn. And I was like, what? And he starts reading this letter. And it's basically, the letter is like, listen, I've been to Iraq, right? And it was like, which is what he says in the movie, right? Exactly. It's like, I know everything. I've been to Iraq, so I know. And Matt gets done reading the letter, and I'm like, shut up, dude. You wrote that letter. I know, And he's like, no, really, Sean Penn really wrote this. And we laughed for about an hour straight. I mean, it was just the funniest thing. It just shows you he's lost all completely. Yeah,
all sense of. And did you hear from anyone else?
No, actually, the only person we ran into who was like really stoked on it was Matt Damon. He loved it. Yeah,
of course,
he loved it.
He would love it. Well, Matt Damon's a really good, smart guy.
He's a good guy.
And it's really funny that Matt Damon is smart. I mean, in this universe, that doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
But I think he's great. And what was the other thing I was going to ask you from Team America about? Was Alec Baldwin? Did he want to do his voice? Is that a rumor or is that?
That happened sort of. We were in pre-production. And we got the call saying, hey, Alec Baldwin heard that he's in this movie. He wants to do his voice. And we're like, so we, through our agent, we had our agent tell his agent, we found someone who can do it better.
Because that was his attempt to show, I'm cool.
I'm in on the joke. Yeah, and that's what, all of these people have amazing publicity people, that watch out for their image. Tom Cruise has some of the best in the world.
Well, he used to.
Yeah, he used to, and then he fired it. Right. And then
jumped on a couch.
Yeah, right. But
and had an invisible baby.
Every time we rip on somebody, every single time, what happens is we'll like rip on Ben Affleck, right? And we'll do a show about that. The next day, we'll see in the paper a headline in this little entertainment thing that says, Ben Affleck says South Park episode was great. And it's like, that's not a news story, right? Someone got that into the newspaper. Why is that even in the paper? And it's just, he needed his out there. He's in on the joke. He's in on it. And
they're not making fun of us.
Yeah.
But I just, it's just amazing that it's been going for 10 years. Right?
That's crazy. Yeah, we have our 10th year anniversary in September.
Well, it's just, Bob Dylan said the purpose of art is to inspire. And every time a South Park comes out, I watch the South Park and want to do better stuff. It's just amazing how good you are. That's Trey Parker, who does South Park here with us. And I'll mention Matt Stone once more, but not in conjunction with you. I'm also with Michael Godot. And Free FM, this is Penn Jillette.